MMA Weekly. The numbers have been great. I think I see one of my boys out there. Shout out Andy Hernandez. And the number's still big here at MMA Weekly. Thank you, by the way. Smash that like, hit the subscribe, the bell. If you want a super chat, we love you. We appreciate you so much. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. I gotta get the black background there. Oh, there you go. Ha! At Jim Grease _ on social media. But I'll tell you this: no matter what you think of Jake Paul, no matter what you think of Joshua for taking the fight, no matter what you think of the fight or the outcome of it, or the night, or what's going on with the sport in general, you cannot deny that what Jake Paul has done is amazing. Be a movie about this dude, and his brother too, for that matter. 2 kids from Ohio, disrupting everything they touch, making millions of dollars, and dragging the best athletes in the world to compete with them. It's crazy. I've never seen or heard of anything like it. You know what I mean? It's incredible. It absolutely is incredible. And Anthony Joshua obviously comes away victorious by TKO. And, man, what a night for Jake Paul and MVP. Look, anybody who's a serious boxing promoter right now, you got to be worried about Jake Paul. You have to be worried about MVP. You have to be. They're getting guys like Joshua on the card now. Next time Jake fights, right, he'll be back at his normal weight. Who else is he going to get on the undercard? Who else is he going to fight as an opponent? NBA guys, UFC guys, you know what I'm saying? Boxers that were older or washed up, like Tyson and Chavez. Tommy Fury beat him. But anybody would love to get in there against a guy like Joshua. Yeah, Paul really hurt his ankle, I think. I don't know why whoever interviewed him didn't ask him that, whose name I won't say. Never asked those questions. But the body shots from Joshua, and again, a bunch of knockdowns before that. So interesting, really interesting. And I definitely, I think it's funny that so many people hate on a guy who's made all his dreams come true, and it's almost usually the case, right? The guy who's making everybody all the money. Remember when Tiger Woods came into the PGA Tour and everybody hated him? Oh, we'll have fried chicken, Fuzzy Zeller. Remember that? Remember all the racists? Remember all the idiots? Tiger Woods this time, he made everybody money. Everyone. All the hate for Conor McGregor made everybody money. All of us make more money every time Conor fights. All of us make more money when Jake Paul fights. It's always the guys who do that get so much hate. It's always the guys who do that. You know how many people have made a lot of money because of Jake Paul? Do you know how much the sport of boxing has benefited from Jake Paul? Regardless of what you think about the legitimacy of it and legitimacy of boxing, is it legitimate that the best never fight the best? Is it legitimate that you don't know who half the champions are because they can't promote the sport for shit? Is that legitimate? Is that what you want? I'll take this over that. I love the purist element of it, but make Jake Paul the main event and make the best boxers in the world the co-main, because that's what they are. In fact, they should be on the undercard because they can't draw ants to a picnic. And if you can't draw ants to a picnic, you're not a real champion. You have to be all the above, right? You want to be LeBron, you want to be Kevin Durant, you got to average 25 a night for 15 years. But you also have to know how to work that mic and do your interviews and get the appearances and command the attention. It goes with the territory. Michael Jordan was the most famous athlete in the history of the world. He knew how to do it all. It wasn't just his play that did it. It wasn't. Conor McGregor would never have been Conor McGregor without the way he could talk on the mic. Chael Sonnen talked his way into title fights because of it. Sean O'Malley, Paddy Pimblett, who's about to get his ass murked by Justin Gaethje, talking their way into title fights. It's a big part of it. You've got to be the whole package. The best boxers in the world, Terence Crawford. Love Terence Crawford. Who the hell doesn't love Terence Crawford? A lot of people didn't want to pay to see Terence Crawford against the people he was fighting. Facts are facts. Numbers are numbers. Look him up. Look him up. Canelo, same thing. Look him up. You know what I mean? I mean, look, final punch stats. 48 out of 146 for Joshua, 16 out of 56 for Paul. He threw 56 punches and landed 16. He was running the whole night. Yeah, he was. From a killer. Not saying that what he did was elite boxing by any stretch of the imagination. Nothing about Jake Paul's performance tonight was elite, other than his promotional skills and his business acumen. Those are the things that matter most to him. You know, that's the way it is. I don't know what else to say about it, other than those. It's the truth. It's 100% the truth. And whether you like it or not, he's here to stay. There's going to be more people coming behind him just like it. If sports are going to lag, look, the Saudis are spending a ton of money. They want LeBron to start a league to rival the NBA, and he might do it. Maybe he is doing it right now. The sports landscape is changing like crazy. One thing that's not is that we're right here on MMA Weekly for all the big boxing matches, including ones like this. And, of course, UFC pay-per-view's got a big one coming up January 24th. Gaethje and Paddy the Baddy. It's not so bad. He ain't so bad. He's gonna taste Gaethje's fist on that night. You got Amanda Nunes coming out of retirement to face Kayla Harrison. Man, would I love to see Amanda get the KO there. Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong on that card. That's gonna be a dope night of fights. Silva dropped Woodley in the second round. Baumgardner, the Bomb, with a decision victory over Layla Baudouin in the co-main event. And then, of course, Anthony Joshua, the 6th round finish of Jake Paul. I think it's funny that a lot of the major sports outlets aren't even posting this. Interesting. But Jake with the last walkout, it's his company, his promotion. It's just interesting, really interesting. Matchroom, they did all right tonight too. But it's trending world. Let's see, 4 times knockdown, 6th round knockout for Joshua, 4 knockdowns in the fight. I'm not seeing the time anywhere, Scott. Do you see it anywhere? Let's see. Let me see. Wow, though. I mean, I just want to say that it's been a hell of a night. It's been a hell of a night with you in here. Numbers are still good in the chat. I thought this was boxing and not a running event. I mean, when you watch any other boxing fight, title fight, and they just hug and hump each other for the whole time, and you want to see that? The sport's been broken for a long time. Change the rules, not so much clenching, make the best fighters fight each other or vacate titles. It's not that freaking hard. But you needed a guy like Jake to come in and disrupt it to the point. And I think maybe Eddie Hearn kind of secretly deep down likes it. He wants to see boxing change. Whack, whack, and more whack, says Maynard. I mean, I get it. I get it. 2 knockdowns in the 5th, 2 more knockdowns. What's the time? No one put the time in their story. Man, the boxing media is straight trash. Put the damn time of the knockout in there. Will you please? Come on. Let's see. Round 6. Let's see if that's... Come on, man. Nope, they won't even put the time. I can't find the time. This is like the 6th article I've looked at. And there's no time anywhere. Remember the time? Nope, not happening. Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, we'll figure that out another time. Look at that, 4444 right now. Everybody make a wish. Angel numbers. No way this made it to 6 rounds. WTF. 4 knockdowns and the knockout. But Jake Paul hit the over for me, and I got my Christmas money out of it. I'm not spending a dime on Christmas. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Jake. And people will say, haters will say, Anthony Joshua carried him. Anthony Joshua carried him and me. Bang.
Here we go.
That's what I'll say. Thank you.
Chick 2. Close fight. So, Jake Paul is going to... There's a left hand. Fairly right up you got the Joshua so far.
Logan should have been knocked out too. Now that would have been dope, right? How about Joshua against the ball?
Joshua misses on the right. Anthony Joshua has never been down. Amateur or pro.
That's where we might be headed next, but again, boxing did it to itself. Shit show for so long. That's what happens. But I know it sounds because it is.
I always see that.
I've been sick of it for years, decades. Where I'm here for Jake Paul. I'm defending him. This boxing is such a trash overall. There's so many great fighters, great athletes. Fighters are not section boxers. promoters. It's all the greedy pigs around you.
Joshua down. Anthony Joshua.
You know what I'm saying? But it really is all about the bennies, right? It really is the bennies that make the world go round. That's the world we live in. Attention being the biggest form of currency right now, leading to those dollars. And Jake Paul is a master at getting attention. But all those other guys around the sport,
There's a man in
the promoters, the old guys who stole that shit.
Fairly whatever you got on a Tony Bellew has too.
Star/bodybuilders.
Just see Anthony Joshua so far.
It's like, man, these guys just get rid of those guys.
The Joshua.
In the sport of boxing, get rid of all the boss boxers.
Joshua misses with a right.
You know what I'm saying?
Anthony Joshua, as we all know,
Get rid of these stupid promoters who only care about their own pockets. Don King and Bob Arum said it back decades. They've done so much. So much. And I love that it's taking a guy like Jake Paul. One big shot to start boxing to show that how stupid they do so much. On my take, I'm not shy to give it to you. Never have been, never will. If you don't believe me, watch some of my own UFC press conferences. Guys off, yelling at people. I kind of get a bit Tourette sitting there too, but I care so much about these things. And I care so much about how much you care about these things. I want things like this to keep happening to boxing.
Anthony Joshua, full and hurt.
Oh, wow. You know, this guy is what scripted. Pete isn't the word way you are a fan of boxing and still are a fan of Jake Paul. I mean, staged. AJ had so many opportunities to knock him out. Well, then why didn't he? He's not a boxer or even a fighter. You guys are going to keep hating him. You're going to keep hating him, I know. I'm so glad Jake Paul got his ass kicked. His ego's too big. Joshua is the man. Boxing is a joke. Thank you. One person. Thank you. Stop ripping Jake for a second and spew your venom in the right direction. I mean, Mauricio for one. I mean, come on. It's just insane. Almost looked like Joshua was pulling punches. No, it didn't. It looked like Jake was 8 feet away. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like he stayed away. And he even said after the fight, if my cardio had been better, I would have been able to keep him moving and maybe gone a little bit longer. No knockout clause, same as Mike, blah, blah, blah. I see right through you, trash-talking dung beetle. Dung beetle.
Un petit sourire quand tu
Jake
penses
Paul,
que je joue à
Jake is the victim here. He's the victim of a broken jaw. You're going to say Joshua pulled punches and he ended up breaking his jaw with a straight right, straight from hell? That was worse than the one he hit Ngannou with.
grandement. Voilà. Donc,
How about this? How about this? Is Francis Ngannou a legitimate fighter? Because Anthony Joshua knocked him out in the second round at 238. Jake Paul lasted 4 rounds longer than Francis Ngannou did against Anthony Joshua. Think about that. Or as Matt Damon would say in Good Will Hunting, how about them apples? 4 more rounds than Francis Ngannou. The former baddest man on the planet, UFC heavyweight champ. Irrelevant and anonymous now, I get it. But at one point, everyone wanted to see him fight John Jones. The world stopped for him to fight Stipe. Not anymore. But Joshua crushed him in the second round. Jake Paul goes 4 more rounds than Ngannou. So maybe, I don't think Jake's crazy enough to get in there against Francis after this, but maybe that'd be a nice setup for the next fight. I lasted 4 rounds longer than you did. That'd be a good starting point. I don't know. Maybe, right? Maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's see where we're at with all this. What a night, though. I mean, overall, a lot of money made, a lot of things happening. Not real sure where Joshua goes from here other than Fury. I mean, it's got to happen, right? It's got to happen. It's ridiculous now. You know, he's 36. And Tyson Fury is obviously not the same by any stretch of the imagination. And when I think about Tyson Fury, I just, if anyone carried anyone, I felt like Fury carried Ngannou. That's what I kind of felt there, the Gyps King. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to ever cast that kind of an aspersion on an athlete. You know, but Fury's 37, Joshua's 36. It's another Mayweather-Pacquiao. It's like, yeah, we give a shit, but we gave a lot more shits 5 years ago. You know what I mean? That's my point about boxing. Yeah, we saw Pacquiao-Mayweather. Maybe we'll see Fury and Joshua. We saw Fury and Wilder, a fading Wilder. A shell of his former self, Wilder. You know, you wait long enough, and Father Time catches up with people. Or you get him early enough, like Mayweather and Canelo. But again, Jake Paul goes 4 more rounds than Francis Ngannou did against Anthony Joshua. Is it done? Yeah, it's done. Joshua, KO, round 6. And the numbers aren't really dropping in the chat. We're doing great here. Appreciate you guys. Smash that like, hit that subscribe. Don't forget all the big fight cards we do with the UFC pay-per-views. We're live here. We cover the weigh-ins, we cover the press conferences, all kinds of new content coming your way. Got some big news to start the year. There's some really good things happening with us here and with the sport. So many more great fighters coming up and through the UFC. More boxing matches coming your way. I'd love to do the Andrew Tate Misfits match tomorrow. We're not going to here on MMA Weekly. But, I mean, Top G, here comes the Top G. Everybody wants to see Tate get knocked out like Jake Paul, one or the other, right? Andrew Tate and some Misfits boxing thing against some dude whose name doesn't matter is what it is. Jake did good, but it was Anthony Joshua's night. No way it was not a better punch, but Francis was a pro and could take it better. KO, but no broken jaw. You think he can take a punch better because he's a pro? He still got knocked out in the second round. What a joke, says Shadow Man. Boxer versus toddler. About time someone puts Jake Clown down. Fake Paul desperately needed. Oh, wow. Jake Clown down. Fake Paul. What a fake shit. I mean, there's a lot of people thinking that. There's a lot of people thinking that. But appreciate you being here nonetheless. I mean, it's good to spend some time together on Friday or Saturday, depending upon where you are. Mike Tyson would have killed Jake Paul. Bill Gates versus Donald Trump. Oh, Lord. You remember when they talked about Zuckerberg versus Elon in the UFC? And even Dana now, ever the promoter's like, Zuckerberg's a beast. Never mind that you're on the meta board, Dana. I'm not here to give Dana White shit. I love Dana White. Mike Tyson would have killed Jake Paul. Let's see. There's no way you are a fan of boxing and still are a fan of Jake Paul. He has made a mockery of the sport. Only thing you take from this is he doesn't rig fights. LOL. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. Trey 3541. At Trey 3541. TREY 354. I get your point. When you say there's no way you're a fan of boxing and of Jake Paul. If you're a fan of boxing and not a fan of Jake Paul's boxing, that's what you mean. If you're a fan of boxing and you love the way he's disrupted this shitty sport that crapped all over its fans for decades and never gave us what we wanted to see, and we never saw the best fight the best, that Jake Paul is great for this sport, which needed to be disrupted. It's like our government. It needed to be turned upside down, and wait, should I not go there? Never mind. But, I mean, that's happening now. Our government's being disrupted. The trees have been shaken. Everything's bouncing around like a snow globe now. Some things need to be disrupted. Some crooked systems need to be fixed, and the only way to do it is to get someone in there who's going to shake that shit up. Spray that champagne bottle all over the place, man. That's what boxing needed. So, yeah, I'm a boxing fan. I love boxing, and yes, I am a fan of Jake Paul. I might not be the biggest fan of his boxing, but I am a huge fan of what he's done to, and as a result, for this once great sport that can be great again. And maybe things like this are the gateway to that. Maybe. And then what? 10 years from now, especially if you're a younger fan, in 10 years, if boxing's fixed and it is what I had when I was a kid, and I got spoiled by Hagler and Hearns and Leonard and Duran, all those great fights, and even before that, would you then say it was worth it to have Jake Paul? Would you not say that? Would you not say that? I mean, look, the Gangnam Style guy wasn't a real singer, but he had a huge hit. No one's going to say that people who did the Macarena were musical geniuses. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it happens everywhere. Movies, TV shows, it happens. Some of the least talented people you've ever seen have had some of the biggest hits, and it's changed things. Why not here? Why not Jake? Why not now? The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Look, These are the most watched fights. Terrence Crawford doesn't draw ends to a picnic. Canelo barely does anymore. It is what it is, guys. Times they are changing. Fighters need to become stars. Promoters need to make fighters stars. Dana White, with his promotion, making the UFC the star, obviously under the fighters way smaller than those 3 letters on every poster, building the brand over the fighters, but still smart enough to build the fighters. Where's that in boxing? Where are the superstars coming from and being built? Oh, he's an Eddie Hearn guy. Oh, that was a top-ranked fighter. Oh, that's it. He's not going to fight him. He's a top-ranked guy, and he's that guy. No, it's WBC, WBA. The WDC doesn't want to sanction the super featherweight championship fight because we won't agree to 12 3-minute rounds. They can't agree on anything over the years, and we never got the best fights. We never got the best matchups. We never got to see what we should have seen. Maybe with Jake doing all this, we will. That's my takeaway from tonight. Finally, and for all you people who said Jake would never fight a real boxer, he'd never put himself at risk, what do you have to say now? You got a big shit sandwich to eat. What do you have to say now? I mean, look, I never thought I'd see him in there with a guy like Joshua. I'll tell you that right now. I never thought Jake Paul would ever get in the ring with a guy like that. Even when it was Tank Davis, I'm like, come on, man, he's tiny. You know what I mean? It's almost like Rey Mysterio in the Big Show. You know what I'm saying? But no, seriously. It's just, remember Jay-Z said, it's only entertainment. And that's what it is. This is entertainment. Sports are entertainment. Sports are really just competitions that fill space between commercials. That's what they're really for. If you really want to start, and give people things to gamble on. But it's entertainment. So be entertained. And I'll leave you with that. So hopefully we did that for you tonight. Appreciate you being here on MMA Weekly for our live coverage of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, the 6th round knockout, the 4 knockdowns. Problem child thinks he has a broken jaw, but he's fixing a broken sport, one event at a time. All right, Jim Reese, call me Reese. Thank you so much for watching us here on MMA Weekly. One more time, free your mind. There you go. At Jim Reese _ at MMA Weekly. So come on in, subscribe, and we will be here for the biggest boxing matches. We will be here for even the fun ones like this. We will be here for the UFC pay-per-views, and we continue to be blessed with your support. So thank you so much. Happy holidays. Enjoy it with your family. Stay safe. And I believe this might be the last few years, so I'll probably see you in 2026. Again, thank you for being here. Keep your game tight and your mind right. Thank you for watching live coverage of the biggest combat sports events in the world right here on MMA Weekly.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time to get us set for this main event and to perform the national anthems for both of our main eventers. First, to perform God Save the King, please welcome Sky Bishop.
Cade, and it's unbelievable but true. Jake Paul getting set.
The time is now for the fighters, for the fans. Are you ready to make history? Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the camouflage trunks, he stands 6 feet 6 inches tall. He weighed in at 243.4 pounds. Tonight, he enters the ring with a professional record of 28 victories versus 4 defeats, with 25 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Watford, London, England. Introducing the Olympic gold medalist and the 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. To some, he is known by his full name, Anthony Oluwafemi Olaseni Joshua. But around the world, he is known by just 2 letters. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Anthony Joshua. And now his opponent, standing across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with yellow trim. He stands 6 feet, 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 216.6 pounds. Tonight, he enters the ring with a professional record of 12 victories versus just 1 defeat, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. Introducing the icon, the man who brought boxing here to Netflix, the biggest promoter of women's boxing of all time, the one you all came here to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the creator, the record breaker, the MVP, El Gallo de Dorado, Jake Paul.
Let's go. All right, Jimmy, this good right here. This good right here. Jimmy, you know what time it is. You get to fight hard, fight clean, touch him up.
Jake Paul says he's about to author the biggest upset in the history of sports. Anthony Joshua looking to land the money shot and cash in on the realest of reality checks. It's Judgment Day in Miami. The gloves don't recognize followers, they recognize force. One man chasing legitimacy, the other guarding legacy. Round 1, and Jake Paul already on the move. 22 by 22-foot ring. David, who does that benefit?
It benefits Jake. He really needs to stay on his toes, avoid Anthony Joshua's jab. There it is. He doesn't want to be eating those because that's the equivalent of a right hand from a cruiserweight.
Yeah, both rely heavily on their jabs, but Jake Paul, for the first time in his boxing career, had a physical disadvantage in the 5-inch reach advantage for Anthony Joshua, just stalking Jake Paul. Paul bouncing up and down, comes forward with a jab. Crowd getting restless, but this is exactly what I think we all expected out of Jake Paul and for Anthony Joshua as well, Christina. Staying focused, staying calm and cool.
Absolutely. 15 months out of the ring for Anthony Joshua. Is going to get, some time here to work a little bit as Jake Paul continues to circle around the outside of the ring. What he shouldn't do is circle to Anthony Joshua's right hand. He needs to continue to move to Jake Paul's right so he can try to land the right hand like that of his own.
The biggest shot of the fight so far has come from Jake. AJ's missing. He felt a bit embarrassed by taking that big overhand right from Jake. And it shows as he threw a punch out of range.
Both of them known for their devastating right hands, but for Anthony Joshua, full-blown heavyweight his whole career. First time he had to make weight, came in under the 245 weight limit. And Jake Paul already resorting to tactics to get Anthony Joshua off his game.
and I'm good with that double jab that Jake Paul just landed to the body of Anthony Joshua. Get yourself in some sort of a rhythm. Obviously moving around a lot on his feet, but he needs to start getting loose with those punches, and I'm good with him starting off with that jab.
So far, he looks very comfortable in there. He doesn't look like he's rattled. The only shot that's landed has been from Jake so far. The big
That's the only shot. One punch has landed in this first round.
If that's the only shot that lands in this first round, you've got to give it to Jake.
A big moral victory, and there it is, a double jab. Jake able to get inside and then get away, but Anthony Joshua just picking his... There's that right hand, and that right hand is an eraser.
Yeah,
his right uppercut is devastating.
Anthony looks a little frustrated here. Look at it.
Right hand by Joshua. And Jake Paul has his hands down. He is playing with fire.
It's a dangerous strategy. He's looking at counter with a big overhand right.
Working with Igor Golub, who of course instrumental for Alexander Usyk's success. Joshua 0-2 against Usyk. Last time he weighed under 245 was a rematch with Usyk, and now, man, that first round has to be considered a victory for Jake Paul. 2 of 10, Joshua 2 of 11, and it's now round 2, and Joshua has to be disappointed. He told us it would be a huge disappointment if he didn't score the first round knockout, but again, David, knockouts are hard to come by no matter what.
When you're trying for the knockout, it's very difficult. And Anthony Joshua looks like right now he's trying. And when you try, you slow down. It's a good game plan so far from Jake. He landed a good right hand to the body.
Oh, and Joshua misses with that sweeping right hand delivered with bad intentions.
And a smirk on the face of Jake Paul as he felt some breeze probably zipping through his face after that shot misses from Anthony Joshua. But you have to think there's a little bit of a clock in Anthony Joshua's mind. However long this fight goes, I think the pressure mounts for him to land something significant.
I can see the pressure on him now, that big swing and a miss. Very rarely does AJ throw shots from out of range like that.
Now he has all along the rope. Paul clinches like a veteran. And he went from looking down at Tank Davis to looking up at a tank in Anthony Joshua's Jake Paul so eloquently put it. And he's content to just continue to utilize movement, not worried about throwing anything of substance right now. He wants to just see what Anthony Joshua's all about. Minute and a half gone here in the second. As the seconds tick away, you know, fans will become more and more frustrated, especially those who thought Joshua would put away Jake Paul in a hurry.
Smirk on Jake's face. He's toying with
He's playing with fire.
He really is.
Hands are down. But Joshua unable to cut off the ring now, following Paul.
And a bit of a clash of heads there as Jake Paul looks to close the distance and hold Anthony Joshua.
By a minute of a second.
Anthony Joshua isn't an inside fighter in regards to grappling and pushing, whereas Jake got a wrestling background. So he'll be a lot more comfortable in those clinches.
All along the ropes where he doesn't want to stay too long against a murderous puncher like Anthony Joshua.
Jake's doing a great job of avoiding those big killer right hands. Anthony Joshua isn't setting anything up. He's loading up with the shots, playing into Jake's game plan.
Fans already frustrated again. None of us expected this fight to go long, despite the fact that most of us thought Jake Paul would utilize the ring and move it. Anthony Joshua unable to land anything of consequence yet, as we are now through 2 rounds. And our center of
The only punches coming in that last round were from Anthony Joshua, but a big swing and a miss there. And then a reaction from Jake Paul, who right now doesn't seem like he's looking to win. He just seems like he's looking to survive and have a little bit of fun in there while he's doing it. He's passed 2 rounds, more than a lot of people think he'd make it, but the name of the game is throwing punches. He's got to throw punches.
low connects. And here we are, round 3. And now, David, you're a former cruiserweight and heavyweight champion. You represented the sport well. There are many people that didn't think this fight should even be sanctioned. They feel that it's a black night of boxing of sorts, the purists especially. And for the clock continues to tick. The longer this goes, does it become embarrassing for Anthony Joshua?
Anthony Joshua, if you'd have said he wouldn't have been able to get to grips with him in the first 2 rounds, he said in an interview earlier, a couple of days ago, that if he doesn't knock him out in the first round, he would consider it a loss. Craig, this is the type of fight that he hasn't had before, where he has to get a knockout, and he's trying a little too hard. I was worried for Anthony Joshua coming into this fight. It's a hell of a different type of pressure to put himself. It's not about winning. People assume he's going to win. It's how he wins and how easy he wins. At the moment, he's throwing punches, but he's missing. He's not looking as slick as he would like to.
They're not exactly throwing punches. It's incredible. In that last round, Jake Paul was 1 of 6. Joshua just 4 of 26. So not at all what fans expected. Right uppercut there by Paul.
And a little look on the face of Anthony Joshua, almost in our direction. He's getting a little frustrated. Every time he gets close, you can tell the Jake Paul game plan is to grab him, hold, and clinch. Move the action back into the inside.
Exactly.
Oh, jab. Oh, jab to Joshua. And we welcome those of you watching the football game.
This is the fight Anthony Joshua didn't want to be in.
Minute 20 left here in the 3rd. And it's not, Jake Paul's doing next to nothing, guys.
He's not getting knocked out. That's what he's doing at the moment. The whole game plan should be, do not get knocked out first.
It's amazing how the sport of boxing, all combat sports, life, and yet you get the results and you keep coming back. And now Joshua's talking. Missing with the right hand. I'm amazed at how much Anthony Joshua's missed.
He's frustrated. Usually he has someone coming at him. This time he's got to really pick his feet up. He's got to readjust. And Jake Paul has practiced this. He's had big, strong sparring partners coming at him just like AJ is.
Yes, Rollins, Oakley.
They all said he's very, very difficult to trap.
Jared Anderson.
Frank
Sanchez, so legitimate heavyweight sparring partners.
And remember, Jake said he believes he's going to get a knockout in round 4 or 5.
Yeah, between rounds 4 and 6, he said.
He hasn't tried so far.
It has been lackadaisical, to say the least. There is absolutely next to no offense going on in this fight. And I know boxing fans find it offensive. Well, there's a WWE superstar and the older brother of Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Of course, Monday Night Raw airs right here on Netflix.
One of only 4 jabs connected by Jake Paul, which to me is a good punch for him if he could start to get that going a little bit. But here's the look I was talking about earlier, where AJ was getting frustrated in that clinch when it looked like Jake Paul was going for the takedown.
He didn't want to get hit with that jab.
Round number 4, the numbers are putrid, to say the least. Paul, 3 of 5 in round 3. Joshua, 7 of 25. There's There's a jab from Joshua that pops Paul's head back. Paul looking to land the overhand right. He's against the ropes, and Joshua just leaning in on him. Paul coming in at just under 217. 11 pounds lighter than he was against Mike Tyson in his only other heavyweight fight. That took place last November.
Seems like he's looking for a few more.
There's a right hand, left hand that lands for Jake Paul. The jab lands again for Paul.
Looking
What
for a
is
few
life
more
in 2025?
and a few more takedowns. Mauro, is that why he's wearing the Hulk Hogan? That's like the third time he's looking for a
He's being
takedown.
warned here by the referee, as he should. Christopher Young. Yeah, different sport. No ground and pound allowed here in boxing, and those who expected Paul to get pounded already are disappointed. And frankly, here we are, round 4, and again, guys, just not much of anything going on, David.
There's a few good shots from Jake Paul that round.
I mean, 4 of 7. Joshua 1 of 7.
This is exactly what Jake Paul wanted, this exact fight. It's exactly what he prepared for.
And there he ducks underneath the sweeping right hand of Joshua. Again, Paul on the ropes, and Paul just can't find his footing.
But that kind of stuff, correct me if I'm wrong, David, it takes a lot out of you when you're doing all that extracurricular and then you hit the mat like that.
It does when you're getting pushed down by a much bigger man.
And both have had stamina issues in their careers. The longer the fight goes, this one only scheduled for 8th. Joshua not really delivering anything with malevolence. There's a right uppercut. Under a minute left in the 4th.
I like that.
Oh, and Paul tried, but come on. Enough is enough. Yes, the referee finally calling a time, and that could be a point deduction.
Anthony Joshua getting very frustrated, putting all of his weight.
Oh, and it looks like Joshua trying to jingle the bells or maybe put the Nutcracker in Nutcracker Suite. It is the holiday season after all, but Jake Paul now taking the low blow. Has up to 5 minutes. And he's just asking for how much time does he have left. Well, we know he's got both sides cojones for taking the fight, and it was tested here, Anthony Joshua, and I don't see a low blow at all there, so I don't know what we're talking about here. Unless the knee landed.
The knee.
Man, oh man, this is just bowling shoe ugly. 30 seconds left in the first half of this fight. Didn't expect to say that either.
Left hook from Jake Paul there.
Yeah, he's landing punches. What is this? I mean, they blame Joshua, but it's what? The referee, it's Jake Paul that's doing this. Come on.
I mean, all it's doing is buying Jake Paul more time. I don't like it at all.
I don't get this.
Listen. Both y'all come here. Listen. Both tactics gotta stop, okay? Fans didn't pay to see this crap, okay?
Amen.
You're gonna fight. But fight within the rules, okay? Touch him up, fight clean.
Christopher Young with the quote of the night. The fans did not pay to see this crap.
You control your breathing, you control everything. You control your breathing, you can control every motherfucking thing. That's how stop. The motherfucker show you everything, Jake. He controls for you. He can't hit you with shit unless you're giving it to him. Unless you're giving it to him. Don't give him shit. All right. No, bro. And look, right? The footwork drills. There's even drills in there. Come on. Time it. This is rain. Don't we only got 4
Paul's trainer, Theo Chambers III, hails from Detroit's legendary Crump Gym, where he was a pupil of the estimable Emmanuel Stewart, who always said, knockout sell. Fans were sold on expecting a knockout in this main event. We have reached round number 5.
Most people didn't think we'd get to this point, the second half of this fight, but a lot of it has been fought on the mat just as much, almost has been fought on these men's feet. But look it, the way that it has to go for Jake Paul is working his way in on that jab, just like that. Back to the basics.
It really is. Oh, the uppercut, and he took it. Jake Paul took it. And yet he takes the knee again. And I see Rod Joshua, that's Jake Paul's fault. Right hand left by Joshua. He's got Jake Paul cornered. Paul's hands are down. Paul unwinds and catapult right hand to the left by Paul. Paul looking to make it a fight now. Final 2 minutes of the 5th, and the action finally coming to life.
Down to the body with the right hand for Anthony Joshua. There's a big left now.
Text messages are lighting up. Everyone wondering what the hell is happening. And Joshua continues to chop down Paul. And that's ruled a knockdown.
It looked like it was sucking on his leg.
Jake Paul's been knocked down here in the 5th. Is he about to be knocked out? Joshua, the Predator, counter right. There's the right hand. Jake Paul goes down again. Second knockdown. 45 seconds left in the 5th. Will Jake Paul survive the round? No 3 knockdown rule in effect. And Paul, fatigued, hands are low. Joshua on the just stalking him. Oh, right hand right. Oh, uncorks the catapult right.
Looks like Jake Paul is trying to bait him into something, but he's the one that's hit the canvas twice in this round. Incredible.
Jake Paul being measured up by Joshua for that right hand. Gets flipped again. Another right. Another left. And the bell goes to end the 5th. A tremendous round for Anthony Joshua.
Let's take a look at the first knockdown here. That body shot lands from AJ with the left hand. Jake Paul walks it up, tries to land a right of his own, but the left hooks kept coming. It looked like a misstep there, and you saw the grimace on Jake Paul as he stepped back with that right leg. Something to keep an eye on if this fight continues to inch forward. And inching forward closer and closer is Anthony Joshua to closing the distance. You can tell Jake Paul is not taking those punches very well, but that punch right there from Jake Paul was the cleanest shot he's landed tonight, and it's because Anthony Joshua's getting comfortable in there.
Didn't even bother Joshua.
Not one bit.
Jake Paul, a cruiserweight, fighting his second fight at heavyweight against a bona fide knockout artist in Anthony Joshua, seeking his 26th knockout as a pro. But Jake Paul coming forward, he's off balance, he's tired, he's breathing heavily, and he's cornered again by Joshua. Down Paul goes again, following the right hand, the 3rd knockdown of the fight. Paul wants to continue, but it's all Anthony Joshua. 3 knockdowns.
does. That's not the place for him.
Man, he's tired. He
He's
got
just moving them feet like he was in the early rounds. But
right uppercut. It's amazing that Paul is still standing, taking the right uppercut. He knows he's been hurt. His hands are down. It's just incredible.
And even if he does land his best shot at the moment, not that much is going to happen.
And it almost, there's a left hook. Down goes Paul. It may have taken a little bit longer than everyone expected.
Bit embarrassed by taking that big overhand right from Jake. And it shows as he threw a punch out of range.
Both of them known for their devastating right hands, but for Anthony Joshua, the full-blown heavyweight, his whole career, first time he had to make weight, came in under the 245 weight limit. And Jake Paul already resorting to tactics to get Anthony Joshua off his game.
And I'm good with that double jab that Jake Paul just landed to the body of Anthony Joshua. Get yourself in some sort of a rhythm. Obviously moving around a lot on his feet, but he needs to start getting loose with those punches, and I'm good with him starting off with that jab.
So far, he looks very comfortable in there. He doesn't look like he's rattled. The only shot that's landed has been from Jake so far. The big
That's the only shot. One punch has landed in this first round.
If that's the only shot that lands in this first round, you've got to give it to Jake.
A big moral victory, and there it is, a double jab. Jake able to get inside and then get away, but Anthony Joshua just picking his... There's that right hand, and that right hand is an eraser.
Yeah,
His right uppercut is devastating.
Anthony looks a little frustrated here. Look at him really.
Right hand by Joshua. And Jake Paul has his hands down. He is playing with fire.
It's a dangerous strategy. But he's looking to catch it with a big overhand right.